What's up, crew? Welcome to another video. My name is John Connie, aka Big Man Syndrome, and it's a little bit of story time. So if you haven't heard in a video previous to this, I am making a big move from Northern California down to Southern California. I did a couple, I think, TikTok posts and maybe a YouTube short transporting my E36 on a trailer with my truck down to Carlsbad, which is where my new home is. A couple posts on TikTok that didn't perform well, so I took them down. There's another one now on TikTok and Instagram. And then just this past week, starting on Monday, I drove the Evo down from Rockland down to Carlsbad. And there was a much bigger grand plan for that trip as far as content is concerned, but whether it's lack of motivation or some car troubles, some other troubles on the road, the route and stuff like that, I'll go into some of that, not too deeply, but just enough to tell the story. The trip blew up and I didn't make much content. And we'll just dive straight into that. Why not? But before we do, if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Every other week we post a podcast where me and Justin are talking about car stuff, car culture, anything to do with cars. And then every other week other than that week, so on the other weeks, we're hoping to post more build content. And that's working on my Evo 9 MR or my E36 drift car, my Toyota Tundra, which is more so like subwoofers, maybe a lift kit one day, some interior stuff. And then Justin has an E36 that he's trying to restore as it has sat for way too long, like 12 years, with really bad paint. We're hoping to get it back to its former glory, or actually better than its former glory. Hopefully those are some good reasons to join. We also have a giveaway where we're starting small with a couple tools. Everyone needs a good set of wrenches, jack and jack stands, and all we need to do is get to 1,000 subscribers. I'm also thinking about launching a separate giveaway on TikTok. So if you don't follow us there, jump on TikTok, prjct.Garage. Hit follow. I think we're aiming for 10,000 on that one to do the same giveaway, but follow just to see more updates in the future. Anyways, so originally this trip from current home to new home was going to be a live stream, and I had this grand plan. I was super excited. I was going to set up this camera in the cabin, a gap cam with my Insta360, and the idea was I was going to live stream from start to finish that entire drive. And then when I got closer, I was like, you know what? I need to test a few things just to make sure that this works. And in testing things, one, I realized there's no way I'm going to have enough bandwidth. I had a Wi-Fi puck and I speed tested it, and it was literally 1 megabyte per second. That's definitely not enough to even stream a potato. Okay, let's see what the hotspot does. My phone hotspot, I think it got like 2 megabytes per second, maybe up to 10. And I'm like, that's not going to work either. So in realizing that, I also realized TikTok has a really cool live stream setup where you can use both cameras. You can use the front facing and the rear facing camera on your phone. So I'm like, this could be cool. Have my phone mounted on my dash, showing me driving as well as where I'm heading, which is kind of a cool view. I thought it would be super sick. So I tested the live stream. It was working. I was in the garage, had a few people jump into the live stream. No one commented. They all ended up jumping out. I don't think I ever had more than 5 people in at one time. Drove down to Hobby Lobby, turned off the live stream, realized that the microphone that I was using wasn't working, and maybe that's why people left so quickly. Jumped back in the car and went for one more test and included driving or something like that in the description, and immediately got banned. I got a 24-hour ban on going live, and I was like, well, that's a risky thing to do. So decided not to do a live stream. Now, the other goal of this trip was to get content for me to use on Instagram and TikTok, whether it's video footage of the drive or photos for Instagram of the Evo in awesome locations. Well, the first leg was from here to Golden Gate Bridge. I got there fine, no issues. It was really fun, 4 in the morning to 6 in the morning. Super foggy at the Golden Gate. I'll flash some photos here. Took a lot of awesome pictures in my opinion. I'm super stoked about them. I probably should have gotten more. I meant to do video, but honestly, I was just trying to get down as fast as possible. And if I spent too long at every single stop, this drive would have been even longer, which I'll tell you how long it took total at the end of the video. This is just me not doing enough recording. I should just have cameras recording at all times. Like I didn't set up the gap cam just yet, but I did put it on the stick and was getting ready to hit record. Actually, I did record at least me getting into the car and turning the key and not getting it to start at all. Instant foreshadowing. My car, the Evo didn't start. It just wouldn't start. So I hit record, jumped in, wouldn't start, jumped out, turned off the camera because I'm like, well, shoot, I should have left it running. And here's why. So after a little bit of sitting there trying to figure out what's going on, I tried jumping it because I knew, at least I thought, the battery is old and bad and it was just dying too easily. So I figured my battery must have died, which just got done driving 2 hours, left the car running while I was taking pictures of the Golden Gate, turned it off just to do a couple posts, and then it just wouldn't turn back on. So I'm thinking, what is this? It wouldn't jump start. I tried rolling it backwards a little bit to see if it was just like a sensor of some sort for the crank or the cams, and it still just wouldn't even launch the starter. And I'm sitting there for a while. This older dude with a truck drives by and he sees that I'm having some trouble, and he's a nice person, asks if I need any help. He's like, I have some jumper cables. And I'm like, I have a jumper box that's not working, and I don't think it's the battery. It's not even launching the starter. And he says, well, maybe you have a bad starter. I'm like, what a logical idea you have there, sir. This whole time I thought it was just the battery. There's a chance I just have a bad starter. I'm close to 100,000 miles, and it's definitely an option of what could be a problem. So we sit there finagling with it. I decide I'm in a weird place, so I'm going to push it at least to a parking spot. And we start to push it. We get it rolling pretty good. And he goes, jump in. I'm like, what? He said, jump in. I'm like, oh, you want me to kick the clutch, huh? He's like, yep. Like, why didn't I think about that? Like, I obviously couldn't have done that by myself. Maybe I could. I'm a big lineman. I don't know. So I jump in, pop the clutch, and it starts. We're on our way. That whole entire time, my Insta360 could have been running. Could have had good content there. Could have had amazing content with some random person helping me get my Evo started by kicking the clutch and having this aha moment. But for some reason, I just didn't. When I start to stress in situations like that, I immediately, and it's not like I'm thinking that it's going to be good or bad content. I just stop because I don't want to deal with it, I guess. Which is a bummer, because a lot of the times when I stop recording, I miss stuff. And that was something that we definitely missed. So it started, I hit record, hit the road. I've got about an hour and a half, I think, of footage driving from over the Golden Gate Bridge and to just before Santa Cruz, which was my next stop. My original plan was to stop at the boardwalk and get some pictures next to the rides. When I drove past it, it was really just not exciting. So I decided not to stop. I had a different stop for family in Santa Cruz, and then I was back on the road. From there, I originally was going to hit Big Sur. There's a lighthouse there that looked really cool. Then Neptune's Net, and then continue on to Justin's house in Newport Beach. From Santa Cruz, it was, I believe, about 11:30, and with the idea that any moment, if I turn the car off and try to turn it back on, it might not turn on. And having looked at traffic again, one has been open and shut many different times throughout the last several weeks. And the day before I left, on Sunday, I guess, it looked like it was wide open. I'm like, oh, cool. They stopped working on the Big Sur Bridge, and even Palisades has opened up, which has been closed, I guess, for a while because of the fires. I looked it up. There was some closures, so I wasn't hitting Big Sur. And on the way to Neptune's Net, I had to make a decision. Am I going to make this stop and hope that it has really cool content, or just keep driving forward and get this drive done? Because there's just too many different things, stresses that were happening. Only one more time did the Evo have a weird I don't want to start moment, but it was immediately fixed by me putting down my e-brake and putting it back up, which is a trigger for the boost controller, or the boost, what's it called? Turbo timer. So now I'm also wondering, that might be one of the issues. I'm going to diagnose that as soon as I can, because if it's simply that, where it's maybe bad wiring for the turbo timer, then I don't have to do anything crazy like switch out a starter. On 101 in traffic, I made the final decision to just skip the rest of the stops and go straight to Justin. Now, we did get a couple more pictures while I was in Newport Beach, which was cool. It was super dark, a little too late, but we at least got, I think, 3, I would say, decent photos of the Evo, and I'll flash those as well. So, yeah, that's basically it. I don't think there was, the only funny story was the old dude coming and helping me out and like providing some old dude knowledge, or at least like I knew you could kick start a car, because I had to do that with the E36 a bunch of times with its bad battery. But I didn't really, for some reason, have that in the back of my mind. Plus, I wasn't on a hill, so it wasn't like I could just roll down and kick the clutch. But yeah, and I guess at this point, if you're still watching, thanks for watching. You're awesome. And then even at some points, I was thinking about throwing this camera up just to do what I'm doing right here and start telling the stories on the way, showing the success of getting the Evo to the new house in the garage, maybe even talk about the plans for the new garage. I ended up getting to the new house probably about 10 p.m. There was a hole in my mattress, my blow-up mattress that was already there. I was able to tape it shut, but it was still leaking either through that hole or somewhere else. And throughout the night, I was awake, asleep to refill that mattress. So needless to say, I wasn't feeling like making any more content. But the Evo is in its new destination, and that's super exciting. the E36 is in its new destination, and that's exciting. The last to get there is me and all of the stuff that's in this house, and I'm doing it myself because that's how much of a psychopath I am. I pick up a trailer to fill it up with my storage unit, and then a 26-foot truck to fill it up with the house, and then we hit the road on the 11th, and I will be officially in the new house on the 12th. The following week, I'm in Canada, and then the week after that, I have a lot of time between that and the next event that I have to be at. So I'm really, really, really trying to think about what is it that we're going to create on Project Garage that's going to push this channel forward. Because I really think if we don't get the right traction by December, I don't know that I can keep pushing this one. Like, I will always work on cars. I'll always have this hobby, but producing the videos, social media is a beast right now. It's difficult. It is a full-time job. I mean, it always has been, but I feel like even more today, if you're brand new, it's like doing freaking advanced calculus on what you should be doing in your videos to get the next thousands of views in order to make money. So like, we've been at it for several months trying to get enough subscribers to do just this one giveaway, and we still haven't even scratched the surface of getting close to 1,000 subscribers. And I'm not 100% sure what that is. Maybe it's just not enough content that is transformative in that, like, making new subs. I've gotten a few good attraction points with past videos, like the cat skin covers for the Tundra and such, but we just haven't hit it yet on YouTube. So really got to think about that in the coming days. But, you know, I would say July 1st, it is full speed ahead until the end of the year to try to see what it is we can do to get this channel off the ground. And with that said, I'm going to close this out because this is already way too long. I'm sure nobody has made it this far. And if you have, leave me a comment and let's do this. Do the cry laughing face. No context. Just comment with the cry laughing face emoji, and I'll reply with a thank you, because that'll mean that you did spend at least enough time to see all the yammering that I just did. Plenty to be excited for, either an ECU or some headers for the Evo real soon. I'm going to be taking apart the E36 completely, so that's going to be documented for sure, because I need to figure out, I think I actually have figured out why it's not starting, while showing my friend Norm, who lives in the area and has an E46 and is going to be in the channel a lot more for sure. Pulled the power wire of the crank sensor terminals, or the connector, and it just slipped right out. So there's a chance it just wasn't getting signal at all to the ECU, and that's why it wasn't cranking the last time we tried. Go figure. So going to be doing a whole lot to the E36, and I've mentioned before, Justin and I are going to do a in tandem series where he's going to paint his, I'm going to wrap mine, and that way we can see what is easier to DIY, or what would be, you know, our recommendations, and then maybe even gives you an opportunity to look at it and be like, you know what, I'm good, I'm going to take it to a professional, or it wasn't too bad for those two, I'm going to try this or that. So we'll be doing that soon. And then a sound system for the truck as soon as I can. I want to upgrade either to a bigger sub, or if the 12 doesn't fit, I just want to make a better box so I can get real beefy bass. And honestly, maybe that means buying another 10 and having two 10s back there. That might be the ticket. But that's it. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're new to the channel, again, consider subscribing, join the crew. Lots of content to come, and I absolutely plan to make it better content than it has been before. We've been sort of doing this rigmarole of survival with our budgets, our time, and just doing the podcast, because that's something that we can flip and burn pretty easily. And then with the move and some of these events that I've had to go in as a business, Big Man Media, just haven't had the real time to dedicate to this. But we're going to have better content, I swear. I'll swear to you. But if you're not new, you know what to do. Hit the like button, leave a comment, share this video. Those are the ways that help grow the crew. And until the next one, I'll see you later, crew. And go spend some money on that money pit. Ba-da-ba.